This is a real moment, man. Like,
Yeah, most definitely.
I'm sat with Tay Keith right here.
I
You
appreciate that, bro. It's flattering for sure.
the producer, like, Look Alive that was an error in itself. So for me to
Right.
like interview aside, I just want to give you that, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
Um, but now, how have you been?
I've been good, man. I've been working, just really building from beyond of what I've already built just to keep the motion and the legacy going, man. Staying in good health and good wealth, man.
Yeah, yeah, very important, very important, very important. What does good health look like for you? How do you maintain that? How do you practice that?
Well, my mom passed at 42 years old, man. So,
I
after
condone.
that, I had a lot of life changing, just like moments where I just had to, I guess, choose to be, eating better, actually, watching what I eat and fasting and actually getting some sort of exercise in there, on like during the week and stuff. And man, I just cut out a lot of unhealthy habits I had, man, like, like smoking and stuff, man. Just cut a lot of things out. So I've been maintaining and just, going to therapy and, a lot of things that people in my position uh should definitely consider,
Yeah, yeah,
Took a
pretty.
lot of time out to focus on my personal gains.
Yeah. Would you say that that's just as important as, I guess, the work itself?
Way more important, because in a sense, if you're not happy within yourself, or you're not where you want to be within yourself, it displays with the creation that you make, the creative process. Like, I want to be the best I can be, mentally and physically. On
Mhm.
top of that, that's what kind of helps me create even more and better music.
Yeah, yeah. So speaking of which, you kicked off the year, crazy with Pound Town. The Pound Town record was viral. Um, I guess just speak on how that record came about. And I also do want to know, at this point in your career, after so much experience and so many wins, if you will, does it still hit the same when you have a success like that?
Yeah, I think when it came to Pound Town, it was actually a better feeling for me because I felt like it was crazy because I had basically with Sexy Red. I had been watching her for years, like a couple years. And I guess just to see it actually, like me actually having an impact on it, just actually like, helping that situation, adding to whatever she had going on, just made it even more of a big moment for not just her but also me, because a lot of people looked at me like, I've had my time, I've had my moment. And I developed, I mean, I work with a lot of artists, but as far as developing artists, I haven't got their full recognition until now.
Yeah,
I helped develop, several artists from Memphis, but just to see it unfold in the way it did, and even me just getting my first Hot 100 as an artist, it just was a way more bigger moment than me getting, other big records. It meant a lot to me.
yeah, and I love that you brought up, I guess, developing her because Pound Town is definitely a song that I can see going crazy live, going crazy at a festival. And
Right.
speaking of festivals, you're in London for Wireless and you're here for a writing camp as well.
Yeah.
Now, as a producer, what do you appreciate about festivals, given the fact that festivals, the main focus is usually on the artist?
I appreciate the reaction that I get because people produce and create music for different reasons, man. I feel like majority of the music that I have released are
Hmm.
music that touch people in a social standpoint, like for example, like Nonstop and Look Alive and Wrist Flex or Jimmy Cooks. Those are big, records that go, crazy in the club just with Drake. And then I have like the Pound Town go crazy in like the South and the strip clubs. And
Yeah,
when and like, well, also with the Drake records, like the festivals and stuff. And then I did like Beyonce Before I Let Go. It go crazy at the cookout with the fam. So I feel like a lot of records that I produce have that social enlightenment where it's just that turn up vibe. So seeing it in a festival is even more crazy because it's thousands of people compared to a club. You might see hundreds of people, maybe 1,000, but when it's actually tens of thousands of people reciting, get it pumped or the energy because of something that started in my room is just crazy to think in depth like that with that situation.
Yeah. And I think I definitely admire the fact that you still get that feeling from it despite the success you've had, like it seems like it still feels
It's
that good the first time round, like as if it's the first time.
most definitely. It's always a new feeling for me.
Yeah, yeah, fair. So I wanted to also talk about the writing camp that you're attending here.
Okay.
Have you been to many writing camps? I imagine you have. You been to many? And
Yeah, I've
what,
been to several. So, I'm right now. I'm actually in the session with Hetty one right now. So
yeah,
we cooking up. Me and him and Pool You a Fool,
yeah,
another big producer in the states, and we cooking up some stuff right now. And this is my second trip to London. So the camp be usually a week or so, and I link with all the big artists out here. It's kind of like something that it's kind of like a new experience for me and them also linking with the states producers, the big producers in the states. And
yeah,
I also do a lot of camps in the United States with like Warner with Warner Chapel. We do Vegas camps, Miami camps, Atlanta camps. We did Nashville camps. Uh we do a lot of counts, man, and I think I'm kind of used to the feeling of I come here for hard work. I'm not just here to just link with the artists and go out and party. I reward myself at the end of the day after working hard to go kick it with my fellow colleagues, successful colleagues, and I look at it like it's for fun, but it's majority for the experience to create new sounds, to create new energy, and one day potentially change the world again,
yeah, yeah.
move the world again, shift it.
What makes a good writing camp in your opinion?
What makes a good writing camp, in my opinion, is the good vibes. I always gotta have good vibes and good energy. You always gotta maintain, the ideal of working. A lot of people might come, it be times where, you might be in a space where you not working your best. So you know what you gotta do, man. You gotta take take some medicine, drink some coffee, get a Red Bull, get yourself energized, get yourself, you might need to go get a massage or something. You might need to go, eat a good meal or, just make sure you're at your best. And when
Yeah,
you when you in these writer camp, because it's so many successful people that it's like you want to always present yourself at the best. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and the best. How important is presentation because I think having an idea is one thing, but being able to present it properly, especially to these successful people, is another thing. So how do you go about presenting your ideas when you're in a room with artists who you may look at like, oh wow, they're up here and I may be here.
Well,
Especially this is more a question for before as opposed to now because you have elevated in
right.
your career, but I am still curious.
Right. It's very, I guess, subjective would be the word I would say because it depends on what artist you're working with. Different artists have different ways, different processes of working. Like last night I was working with this artist who, the ideal I was presenting him, he was listening to it and he wasn't so much of a freestyler. He wanted to write his words out and, just actually you know, playing it out how he gonna rap it or whatnot. And then there's other artists who you might get in with that like to freestyle that, you can kind of help them word play or, might throw a couple words out, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. And there's also, artists who I can present a whole vision to and have a writer with us and then we work with the writer, together to get the vision clear. So it's different ways to go about it, man. I think the most important thing when it comes to actually giving my vision is knowing what the artist likes to do, and me actually elevate because I know I've said in other interviews how I just kind of like go in the room and let the artist go with the flow. But as I'm elevating more and more, getting in more of my executive producer type of vibe, I listen to the artist and I be more vocal about how I feel, as if it would be a good idea to do this to make a hit, you know.
What I did also want to ask you about is also being in sessions. How do you which approach do you prefer to take best? Is it presenting your vision to an artist? Is it maybe working with an artist who already has written down and wants to go straight away? Is it would you rather work with an artist who needs a bit of time to get his, verses together? Or do you work easily with freestyle artists where you throw a word in here or there, like you said?
Yeah, I like all of them. You know, I feel like when it comes to the freestyle artists, those are kind of like some of the artists who I run into a lot, so I'm kind of more used to it, but I'm definitely open to working with all different types of processes with artists. It's no specific way, you never know what you might walk into. And it's also cases where you might work this way with this artist this time, and then next time you work with the artist, it's a different process. We all growing, we all learning, we all figuring it out. It's no set formula for nothing, man. It's all about being creative and understanding the process of being creative and being accepting to being vulnerable of the process.
Yeah, that's very much so important. And that kind of brings me into your latest venture, which
Mhm.
is, I believe you are venturing into the metaverse. So can you speak
Yeah.
a bit about can you speak a bit about that process and how come you've decided to take that step now?
I thought it was cool, when me and my homeboys we had bought some Oculus glasses, and we didn't think too much of it. We just, the Oculus goggle glasses, and we just kind of just decided to uh just tap into it, and see look into how it was, and we were just amazed. We was amazed by the altered reality, and when we knew we was amazed because when we took the headsets off, it was like we was living it. We was almost in another world. You know what I'm saying? It was just like our perspective had changed. So we had just instantly dived into it. We started connecting with a lot of companies and stuff. We started connecting with people at Facebook. We started connecting with, different companies who actually doing metaverses and web and deep into the Web3 space, and then that eventually led me into the NFT space. So I started basically buying NFTs, and then kind of like learning the mistakes with that, and kind of growing with that, and then buying crypto. Well, I had been buying cryptocurrencies, but just getting more into depth into Ethereum and Bitcoin and stuff, man. And then we eventually did our collab with anybody's. We did the DOA collab with anybody's, and we actually working on other collabs too. I'm not gonna jump the gun and announce them, but we're working on big collaborations in the metaverse space, and look for. I want everybody to look forward to it because it's definitely gonna be a game changer.
Yeah, and I like that you brought up DOA because DOA is definitely a key point in your transition from producer to executive. Uh,
Right.
and I kind of wanted you to speak on that process because it can
Yeah.
sometimes be easy to, I guess, get pigeonholed or stick to something that you're good at because it might be safe. So what made
Right.
you kind of take that leap? Is that a direction you always wanted to go, or were
Yeah,
you?
so dramatize is it stands for dramatize over anything. It stands for DOA. DOA stands for dramatize over anything. So basically, me and Cambry and my manager, we decided to make a company like 5 years ago. We signed our first producer, De Niro Love, and from that point on, we just developed him under the brand, and helped him get placements. Now he's a multi-platinum producer, even though he's moved on to his deal has been complete. He's got his own label now, his own producer label. So, from that point on, we decided to sign many producers and stuff. And also we had did a situation, a deal situation that we end up completing also with Warner Records. And,
Yeah,
we just kind of just learned as we go. We was young, we was 22 when we 21 and 22 when we started the company, and we 26 now. So, we learned a lot from the situation, just come going through the motions of learning the game as a company compared to learning it as just me as a producer. So right
yeah,
now we at a good space. We actually working on our album, the dramatized album.
yeah,
Um, right now the name is Beat the Odds, but it could change. But Beat the Odds is what we're going for right now. We got a lot of big upcoming artists as features on there. So
yeah,
um we working on that. We about to put that together, and also we had the studio, the DOA studios, and we had that based in Nashville, and we just been basically building the foundation, the right way. We've learned, we've learned through many situations we've been to. You can't cut corners. You got to understand the importance of foundation, and we've been taking the right steps, and it's been working in our favor now.
Yeah. That's brilliant to hear. And would you say that I guess your attention to the business side of the music industry, because it seems that doesn't seem like something that's new for you. You pay attention to the business side of music.
Yeah, situations that I've been in when I was younger had me more, I guess, uh business understanding the business more and learning how to move. So as we got in the game, we made the right decisions. We didn't jump onto the quickest situations of the deals and
Yeah.
stuff, and even the deals that we thought were right that didn't work how we projected it to, we still walked away with something. That was a lesson learned. So
Yeah.
the lessons that we learned on our journey helped us. And when I say we, I'm speaking of me and Cambrian with Dramatize, and basically when we learned, from the mistakes and things that we done that we could have done better. It made us more of a business mindset, a business oriented people as a group of people. So we learned how to, I guess, control the narrative of how we are presented when it comes to these businesses and business means with these labels. Like people just looked at us as, oh, it's Tay Keith and his manager, but now it's like, oh, we have Dramatize who has multiple multi-platinum producers under their belt and multiple, successful songwriters and producers who make many hits in the music industry. Let's put some respect on their name, and the most important part that I feel like we learned was, staying loyal with each other and staying loyal with our team. The foundation would just it's it's built off loyalty. So when you have a lot of people in the music industry, a lot of people tend to be, opportunists when it comes to certain things. So you have to understand, like, we gonna build. We gotta build through the high moments and the low moments. And I think that was kind of what made us, where we're at.
That's pretty important. I like the point you picked up on, like building through the high moments and
Right.
low moments. Uh, and speaking of which, a high moment for you was definitely Sicko Mode, because
Right.
the success of that song, amongst many others, when the impact of that song has been amazing because we've seen the influence since.
Right.
What can you tell me about that time and coming up with that, coming up and being a part of that process?
Yeah, I think at the time I was still in college. I think I was I think I was just about to graduate. That was my last semester. It came out like my last like before my last semester started. I think I actually was taking Maymester class. I mean summer classes during the time
Yeah,
that I've created the Sicko Mode with Drake and Travis Scott. And I just continued to work and didn't think nothing of it. Every record that I had that year was unexpected. And it's kind of ironic because those were some of my biggest records, and it went from me just producing locally, like not just city wise, but like in the southern areas, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas. It went from that to literally worldwide in like 6 months. So it was definitely a moment to adjust, and also keep my principle, understanding my morals and principles of finishing school, getting my education. This way, learning to finish things that I started, and that was kind of like my main thing, and make my family proud. And I just always took that point in my life as my mode of print, even when times get hard. Now it's like, you were still in school as a full-time student and
yeah.
having multiple hits, and it's like now, like me still having hits 5 years later and maintaining, through the hard times. It's like I always got to remember, like I was really indeed under hella pressure then. So, it just kind of motivates me now in times where I feel like I'm a little down.
I think it's amazing that looking back on those times motivates you as opposed to forcing you to become complacent.
Right.
Because sometimes I guess this is something you may be able to speak to. Have your achievements ever made you complacent, and how did you get out of that, if it ever did?
I think complacement comes with Replacement comes with the music industry. You know, at times, even the biggest artists have. No, I'm good. Appreciate it, bro. I think even in the biggest moments in the music industry, I mean the biggest artists in the music industry have those moments where it's kind of a form of complacement. When it's around, maybe like the music that they want to release isn't the music that they have to live up to, or they want to put out better music, or it could be release dates, or it can be label issues, it can be clearance issues. It's a lot of things that can make people complacent, because the main factor in the music industry is understanding I guess the uncertainty, like being confident in the uncertainty of the music industry, and understanding that, where you can be on your P's and Q's, where you don't feel like you're complacent. So in that case, I might feel like, hey, it's a moment where the songs that I got haven't been it's a moment, it's a period of 6 months or so, a year, where I haven't had a top 10, or top 100, a hot 100 or something. It's been times like that. And what I'll do is, all right, let me get on in these cities with these artists, and develop, help develop artists, or working with these big artists, or let me go to this writer camp, or let me go to this camp with these artists, or let me do this, let me do these shows, let me do these interviews, let me do, it's all different factors that play into you understanding, oh, what is a true definition of complacement. True definition of somebody being complacent is, what? I'm gonna stay at home. I'm gonna blow my advance. I'm gonna just sit on my ass. I feel like I'm successful enough. I don't want to do nothing else. It's kind of like how I look at it. Like, people who just so comfortable where they at, they just cool with it. But it's like, you kind of gotta be uncomfortable with knowing that you comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, that's very
Like, you
understandable.
gotta, you gotta, you gotta, you gotta know, like, in this music industry, nothing is certain. You never know how your trajectory might play out. It can be anything that happens. So I always keep that in mind, and know, like, any moment that God bless me with. It's been 5 years. I've had so many moments where I'm just looking at it like, I'm truly blessed, and I got to thank God for this. So I never kind of like, it be moments where I be I be a little ungrateful, but I always try to, work on my gratitude, and understand the importance of what I'm blessed with, and using it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even since then, even through those times, you still managed to keep on continuing. You've continued to get accolades since then, with being
Right,
Double XL's Producer of the Year category 2 years in a row, and
right,
that hasn't seemed to stop. You keep on venturing into other things as well, and evolving as a person, and transitioning from
right.
a producer to an executive.
We got the Dramatized album coming out. I'm working on, me and Sexy Real working on an album together, project. We about to put out song, not a set date, but also I got a lot of different songs, and with different artists that people might not expect. Some big songs on the way. And today I just had a record with Lucky come out. Is a big record called Baby Pluto. Lucky has been building his fan base extremely over the past year, and I'm proud of him. And we working, we got a lot of stuff on the way also. And um I got so much stuff on the way, man. It's just hard to even just name off the top. But definitely be on the lookout for the Dramatized tape, the Sexy Red tape that I have. I have a tape done, a couple, like, tape or two done with this artist called Lil Darius. So be on the lookout for him. It's an artist that I'm helping develop. Um, and a lot of other things, man. A lot of other things. A lot of big, big things happening, man.
Just to round off, you've spoken a little bit about upcoming projects and things that are going, but there is one thing I did want to touch on that you brought up, about artist development. How do you approach artist development, and as an executive, considering you're coming from a producer background? Is it a lot easier because you're coming from a producer background, or have you found difficulty with it in any way?
I never found it an issue to help develop artists, because people can develop artists with no talent. Like, people can literally have no talent and bring no talent to the table and help develop an artist, So me actually having the talent to produce music and create music with an artist and help develop them is always a plus for me. It can be somebody who just had the resources to help develop an artist, but me having the resources, and the creative mindset that I have can just be a plus for us. So I never looked at it like it was a difficult thing for me. If anything, it was more of a plus for me. It just also my notoriety of me just having, what I have done already and being a part of, you know, so many successful stories. It just helps the narrative of the artist also.
Fair enough. And one last question. Three festival essentials for Tay Keith.
Festival essentials.
Three of them.
Uh gotta have gotta have my shades. Gotta have my shades.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta have something to drink, you know what I'm saying? Whether this water, Gatorade, or some gotta have something to drink. And then what else would I say? Gotta have a driver.
What, in one of the golf carts?
Yeah, yeah, gotta have one of them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
People get kind of wild, so it just never know what type of fans I might run into or stuff like this. So as long as I got that, I'm cool, man. My shades, my something to drink, and cooler, caddy or something, driver or something around, man. That's what I
Okay.
like.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Thank you. Thank you for your
Yeah.
time.
No, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah. I've been a Rama. I'm with Tay Keith right now. This is crazy.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Problem. Thank you for your time as well.
All
Thank
right,
you.
man. Appreciate you. Thank you.